A live stream. Hi everybody, glad you guys are here. Today, as the title said, I'm going to be talking about why I ended up staying in Nevada for like a month and a half. Alrighty, so we have some people here already, Robert and Wendy. Hey you all, glad you're here. Let me unplug my phone real quick. Sorry about that. I meant to do that before I started, but I forgot. So how is everyone today? How are you all doing? I am still in the camper. As you can see that I was in last time. I don't know how many lives everyone who's watching this has seen of mine, but usually I'm out in my van in nature. Right now I've just been staying in this camper while I'm at a little temporary job I had. Hi Robert and Wendy, I am feeling just fine. I still have to clear my throat a little bit, and I feel like my voice, maybe not right now, but a lot of times is a little groggier than it usually is. But I tested myself, let's see, on Wednesday, and it's been so nice, like, oh yeah, and it came back negative, so that was really exciting. It's been so nice, like, being in public again, basically, because before, yeah, I was really trying to stay away from people, but now I can, like, go grocery shopping. Hi, internet person. Hey, Rod. Hey, how are things in Florida? I know that Hurricane Ivan, is wreaking havoc. I think it's just on the West Coast, though. I hope in Central Florida you're all right. So let's see, it's 2 o'clock here. Hopefully this time is good. I don't think I've ever done a live in the middle of the afternoon on a Saturday before, so I'm just trying to change things up. Hey Rain, I am feeling better, thank you. Glad to hear no damage on your end, Rod. Hey Jorge, I have been to Moab. Let's see, I went there on this road trip, but I didn't film anything because I was visiting a friend, not really going out on adventures and doing stuff I normally make videos about. But yeah, I've been there then, and then I also went a few years ago, so great place. Robert, my car is working just fine. I drove it to the grocery today, and it was how it always is. There's still always lights on my dashboard. If you've watched my video about those lights coming on when I was in, where was I? Minnesota, and it was hard to find a mechanic that could figure out what was going wrong. They ended up saying it was sediment in my oil, but I think it could be just an overactive sensor too, because as soon as I left that place, those sensors came on. It's been the same 5 ones, and it's really annoying because, like, for example, when my tire punctured when I was in Washington, instead of the warning light coming on for tire pressure, it's always on, so I didn't know of the problem until it escalated. So, not good, but you know, that's what happens when you buy used cars, I guess. They're not always going to be perfect. Alrighty, so it looks like 20 people have joined us today. 21 people have joined us in the chat today. So I guess I'll just go ahead and start getting into this story, okay? So I have a bit of a visual aid. Yeah, when there's more technology in a car, there is more problems. I definitely agree. Hey, Marks, Mitchell, Wendy, I am actually leaving soon. And I'll tell you why in a second. Mad. I love story time. Good. Well, that's what you're getting. Michael, hey. Glad you made it all the way from Ireland. Hey, Tiny Fairy. That's awesome. Working, but have me in the background. Good. I hope I help you get through your workday quickly. Unless you love your job. I don't know. I say that. Maybe I'm just being a Debbie Downer. Alrighty, so. Rod, I might do that, but this has been going on for a while now, and I don't know. I think it's just kind of at the point where it is what it is. The dealership that I went to, because it was a Toyota dealership that I went in to ask about the lights coming on, and they were the ones that said it was an engine oil thing. They actually called me and were like, hey, you have a safety thing announcement for your door. It's possible that your sliding doors are going to open when you don't mean them to, like when you're driving. And I was like, well, those doors are actually broken. They don't open and close on their own anymore. So I wasn't worried about it. Anyway, point being that I think they would have filled me in if they knew something was going on. Hey, Catherine. Love you too. Glad you're here. Really appreciate that. So, without further ado, the year is 2022. I have just finished Numu Poyo on August 11th, feeling good, and then what should happen but like, you know, the next day I stay in a hotel. I head back on I think it was the yards, back to my car. And then when I get my car, the first thing I do is go grocery shopping. The next day, like I bought a bunch of like produce and some like little treat stuff that I couldn't have on trail. But then the next day I was sitting, catching up on YouTube work, just hanging out all day long. I found a parking lot that had a public bathroom and a water fountain near it, at like a little visitor center place. So I just hung out all day, and I could not stop snacking on things. I was so hungry, and it was so good to have fresh fruit and stuff that I couldn't have on the trail. So next day, or actually that night, I got like sick to my stomach. So that was really not fun. Cause that was like throughout the night. Hey, Tanya. But, it was throughout the night, not feeling good. And like for the next couple days, I was sick. So during this live, I see your all's comments. I'm going to respond to the ones that are relevant to this story, and then the ones that aren't as relevant, I'll see if I can go back and answer them. But this live, I'm trying to have a little more structure than a typical like Q&A. We're just hanging out, just trying something new. If y'all don't like it, you can tell me nicely, please nicely in the end, and we'll go back to the old way. But anyway, I was sick for like a few days. Couldn't leave California because I didn't want to drive a long way being sick. Then I finally made it to a, what's it called, city where this is really hard to read your all's comments and think at the same time. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I like this style so far. Okay, so anyway, I made it to a city where I could work my food delivery job and then go hang out around Lake Tahoe on the weekends. So that's what I was doing for like 3 weeks. And then the second week, that's when my brakes started making noise. If you saw the video I posted on Wednesday, I had to stay in a hotel, and then got that all taken care of. But then I was doing food delivery job again, and then in September already, but I was dropping off food, and a person was like, "Hey, if you ever want another job, we're hiring too." And I was like, "Ha ha ha," just chatting to people about how I thought they just meant like, "Hey, we're really understaffed," and they were just making conversation with me. But then we got to talking even more. Most of the time, I'm kind of in a hurry when I'm doing that food delivery job. But this time I was like, I just don't feel like rushing. I feel like just taking it easy and talking to this person. So we were chatting. They said they paid $25 an hour, and that's more than I've ever made with my food delivery job. So I was like, oh, okay, well, let me give you my contact information. And then that night I looked up their business to make sure it wasn't just like something fishy going on. But then that weekend was Labor Day, and then the next, on that Monday, they called me, and at first I didn't think they were going to call me. I thought maybe they changed their mind or something, but they did, and I was so glad. They were just really busy over the weekend, and they didn't get to reach out. But then, so I got that job. That's the temporary job I've been talking about all this time. I get to park my van in the parking lot, and I get to, use the bathroom, use electricity. So it's a good deal. So working, and then on the 13th, that's when I was just, it's been really like wildfire smoke kind of blows over sometimes, and like a lot of people had been coughing. If you've ever been to California or Nevada, you probably are familiar with wildfire smoke. But anyway, that's what was happening, and I was just coughing. And then someone that works here who was a nurse was like, maybe you should take a COVID test. And I was like, what? Because this year, if you've heard of the Burning Man Festival, any burners in this group? Did anyone go? But if you've heard of that, there was a lot of COVID going on there this year. And because people were like, hey, we're outdoors, we're okay, but people were in such proximity, it did actually spread. So then some of the people that were there, I worked with, and I didn't think I had COVID because I've never had it before, and it just, I don't know, that doesn't really make a lot of sense logically, but I was like, oh, it's probably not COVID. But then it was, who in this group has already had COVID and who hasn't? It's, at first I thought I'm going to get it sooner or later, and then I was like, oh, maybe I never will. Maybe I just have a really good immune system, But that wasn't really the case, obviously. So then, after, let's see, it was about 2 weeks, maybe, 2 weeks later, I finally started testing negative. And in that time, if you've seen the video from last Wednesday, my electricity went out. So I was like, well, I can't go anywhere until I get this fixed because I'm not going to be in big cities for a while. So better hurry up. But so between having the job, having COVID, and so Michael says no and hopes not to. Matt says had it at some point, maybe. Yeah, I know the feeling. And then you got to pay for tests. So sometimes it's just like, do I have it? Do I not? Yeah, I get what you're saying. But between having COVID, having the job, and having to figure out my van electricity, I was like, that just slowed me down so much. So I've been here like a month and a half. So now, luckily, we went from September to October, and now I am getting on the road tomorrow. If you are familiar, Rod said I'd take zinc and garlic tablets. All right, well, very healthy of ya. Good to hear it. And if you've heard of the YouTuber Diane Smyan, she's also comes to my or watches my live sometimes and comments, so that name might be familiar to some of you all. But I am doing a little collaboration with her coming up. Matt loves this time of year. Me too. I actually bought a pumpkin today at the grocery store. You all want to see it? It's so cute. Last year I got a plastic pumpkin, but this year got a real one, and I'm so excited. It's just my little buddy gonna come travel with me. So my plans are do a little collaboration. Travel size pumpkin, exactly. We're gonna film the collaboration video tomorrow. I hope to have it out by next Wednesday. And then back to hitting the road. I'm planning a backpacking trip, and I'm really excited because I got a inflatable camping pad. You all ever had one of those before? A sleeping pad, that's what I mean. The kind I use now is blow up. So, you're using the power of your breath. But then I also got to try out, it was when I was in South Dakota, I got to try out a one that you hooked the bag that it came in, like hooked up to the hole where you would normally blow it up, but the point was to collect air in the bag. I tried to use the power of the wind. You could also just open the bag further, and then you would close it, scrunch it up, and blow it up like that. I found it easier to just use the power of my lungs. I found that faster, but with this self-inflating one, I'm gonna try out. Pretty excited to see that too. What do you all think? You think it'll be faster or more difficult? More difficult to figure out how it self-inflates. I think it has something to do with foam. Kind of curious about how all that's gonna work. So yeah, have you all ever stayed longer in a place where you didn't really expect to, but that's life. That's kind of the fun part about living spontaneously, is you never know what's next. All right, it looks like we're not getting a whole lot of folks commenting anymore. All right, let's go back up and see what comments I might have missed while I was telling the story. Internet person says, sounds like a we don't have an explanation. Yep, probably. Drummer says, Maddie, have you ever done the Appalachian Trail? No, I haven't, but I hope to someday. Hi, Vonnie K. Thank you for being here. Hey, Blue Jay. I have actually already been to AutoZone with, that's the first place I went when those lights came on. I went to AutoZone and they were like, yep, there's a problem. We can't tell you what it is, but go to a mechanic. And that was the whole beginning of that. And why I had to go to a dealership was because the mechanic kept telling me they knew what the problem was, but they were like, oh, it'll only be 1 day more. And then the next day, oh, 1 day more. We know what the problem is. It'll just be, it's the end of the day. Oh, and then the end of the day would come. Oh, we just need 1 more day. And so that's why I went to a dealership, because yes, I knew it would be expensive, but I had to get to the root of the problem. Hi, Ray from Australia. Glad you're here. I think you all are really on a delay of what I'm saying versus what you're commenting on. Blue Jay says, go to Area 51. I know that's in Nevada, but I'm pretty sure that's in the south part. Also, like, if I was to drive the whole way there, it would just be a fence. I couldn't go in. I'm not brave enough to break in on my own. Michael says, I have a stuff sack, pump, and mat. That's cool. That must be handy to set up. Rain says, were you doing the food delivery job at the same time as your new job? No, because it was like 10 hours a day here. For the first week anyway. Then it went down to maybe like 5 or 6 hours a day worth of work. But then I was always just so tired. I didn't want to. Plus it pays a lot better. So Matt says, you went to Lake George to stay at a cabin for a week and then decided to stay for an extra 4 days. Oh, how fun. Wendy is with me that I would not be able to break into Area 51. That would be interesting, though. I do like learning about, UFO sightings and, oh man, there's a podcast I listen to called Conspiracy Theories. It is very interesting if you all are interested in checking it out. But it goes through some events and then gives a very factual estimate of how likely something is to have actually happened. And there was this one instance on there, they were talking about I don't know. It was like in a harbor in Canada, people thought they saw a UFO, and then there's all these mysterious circumstances about it. The area is supposed to be interesting, might be worth a visit. Probably. I've been to Vegas before, and there's tons of stuff to do on the way there. Lots of alien-themed stuff. But I'm not really going that direction, so maybe I'll see it later. Rain, you've seen a UFO orb very fast and no sound? Oh my gosh. Tell us more. Where were you? And was anyone else with you when you saw it? Oh my gosh, that's so cool. In another one of these episodes, I think it might have been a different podcast, but if the person from Australia is still in here, you might have heard of this, but there was a whole school of people, students, teachers, that went outside and saw a UFO, and I think that's one of the most UFO sightings that were seen by a group of people, Very cool. Internet person says, don't worry, it was just a weather balloon. Right. Just like they told, what was it? The Marcel family. Wendy says, hit that like button. Yeah. If everyone could hit that like button, that would be very kind. Matt says, aliens lock their doors as they pass us. LOL. Yep. Want nothing to do with us. Or so it seems. We don't know. Has anyone else besides Rain ever seen something interesting in the sky? One time I was in Denver at a brewery, come to think of it, and I saw a line of lights flying not horizontally, but vertically, although like it was up in the sky. But anyway, like one light was chasing another, if that makes sense. Instead of flying like this, they were flying like that. Wendy says, not that I'm aware of. Never seen a UFO that you know of. Good point, good point. Maybe the aliens know how to hide in plain sight. But anyway, these lights I saw in the sky, I was like, what is that? But then I Googled, like, flying string of lights in the sky, and it was a normal thing. One of those billionaires that are into space travel, it was their thing. Rain says, the radio had interference and the orb flew horizontally. Oh, that's crazy. Were you scared? I would have been so scared. Robert said, I know it has nothing to see about the video, but could I ask you a grammatical question? Go ahead. That's fine. Catherine says, Bigfoot doesn't want anything to do with us either. Yes. Good point. Staying hidden in the woods all these years. Thank you for the like, Rod. Internet person says, a string of those Starlink satellites. Yep. Exactly. I couldn't think of the word for it, but that was it. I just saw that last week and I was so hyped. I thought I was having a close encounter. Oh, what a bummer to find out it wasn't. Robert says, it's just, I don't understand the difference when someone says, I did cook and I cooked. Oh, I don't, I don't really know. I think, in any situation where I would say I did cook, it would be like me trying to like emphasize I did cook, like if you're arguing with someone that thinks you didn't, and then if you're just saying it normal, like, yeah, I cooked, that's how you would say I cooked. I think those are the two differences, but that is the difference between those two verb tenses. De nada. Anyone else have a UFO encounter, a Sasquatch near sighting, anything like that? Internet person says, English lessons in beautiful places. Yeah. I did, I've been in the area of Loch Ness, and I was keeping my eyes open for the Loch Ness Monster, but I was only there for a little bit, so, yep. Not a whole lot of, what's it called, cryptid sightings that I know of. Robert says, English is sometimes complicated. Sometimes. Yep. It sure is. It's a difficult language to learn, that's for sure. I feel lucky that I grew up speaking English, and now I'm trying to learn Spanish, and it seems like learning any language is hard, but, like, I don't know. I like how in Spanish you can sound out a word, and you're probably right, whereas English, it's more like, you know, different sets of letters can make the same sound. You don't really know. Some words are spelled exactly the same. Internet person says, I'm super interested in that kind of stuff, but don't have any experiences. You got any ghost stories? It is spooky season after all. It sure is. Ooh, Random Adventure said, just heard tree banging the other night when I was hanging in a hammock the other night. I would be so scared. That sounds so freaky. Wendy says, have you seen Saturday Night Live alien abduction skits? No, I haven't. I'll have to look that up afterwards. That sounds really funny. Random Adventure said, it didn't help I was hanging in a hammock hammock in a cemetery? Oh my gosh. Why did you put up your hammock in a cemetery? Oh, Matt, you've had a couple paranormal, maybe ghost stories? Oh my goodness, tell us, tell us. This is so fun. Let's see. While hopefully more people are typing out their ghost stories, I haven't had any. Internet person says it was the ghost of a Sasquatch. You got ghosts, you got Sasquatches. Sometimes you have ghosts of Sasquatches. Extra scary. I really try not to think about that stuff when I'm in the woods. I remember the first night when I was doing the SHT in Minnesota. Like it was my first night away from Duluth, so all by myself, and I was like, what's my plan if I see a strange person in the woods just staring at me? Like, what do I do if there's like a strange creepy person? And then I was like, no, do not think of that. And it was crazy. That was before I really got used to being in the woods by myself too. Crazy. Okay. Wendy says campfire stories with no campfire. Yes, exactly. I'm glad we're doing this in the day, because even though I'm in a city now and I'm around people now, I would still get so freaked out if we were telling these stories at night. Random Adventure says they were camping in a cemetery because doing a stealth camp, recovering from a stroke. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear you had a stroke. That's not fun. Matt says, one evening, I came home from work. I'm telling it in my scary voice. Walked in the front door and down the main hallway, and I saw a black figure peek out and duck back into the bedroom. Instant cold goosebumps. Oh my gosh. Me too. That sounds so creepy. I would hate that. I would have to just move out. That's so scary. When I was younger, my cousins and I would go ghost hunting at my grandparents' house. And we'd be like, oh, let's check up in the attic. Oh, there's nothing here. It's just the same attic it's always been. Rod says, just say hi, Daryl. Where does the name Daryl for Sasquatch come from? Was that a... I know the Geico commercial. No, that was... It's always the caveman could do it. And the caveman's name was Daryl, I think. I don't know. Where does Sasquatch's name being Daryl come from? But ghost hunting adventures at my grandpa's house. We never found anything. It was just like, oh, there's a picture of one of our relatives that's probably passed away on the wall. Ooh, scary. I am from Kentucky, where Waverly Hills Sanatorium is, which is one of the supposed to be creepiest places on earth, but I've never been there because it was a place where people got sick and passed away, and that just seems really sad to go for fun, you know? Doesn't seem very respectful of those that passed away. And that's another reason why I've never been there, is just because I don't really like haunted houses and stuff like that. I don't like scary movies either, come to think of it. I just can do what's it called? I can do the conspiracy theory type podcast, but only during the day, and not anything like movies or anything. Internet person says, oh, sanatoriums are probably haunted as fuck. Yes, definitely. Do not want to go. So, Bob says, have you ever hiked the Appalachian Trail? I think someone might have said the same thing earlier, so that's a coincidence. No, I haven't, but I have been wanting to. Rain doesn't like horror movies either. Me too. Glad you're with me. How does everyone else feel about horror movies? Yay or nay? Catherine says, I saw a ghost when I was 12 years old. I woke up late one night and she was standing by my bed. Oh, that's so creepy. That reminds me, maybe I had a dream about a ghost one time. So when I worked at a camp in Massachusetts, the staff stayed in a very old house, and the room me and my roommate were in had like a little like closet door that had like a bed up against it because it didn't go anywhere. Pause the story. Let's see what internet person has to say. I watched a scary movie the other night in my van parked in a mountain. It was a horrible mistake. I was so spooked. Oh, I bet. That does not sound fun. Wendy said we have done several haunted spooky geocaches. Ooh, I never experienced anything scary. I found it relaxing. Oh, that's nice. The woods and nature in general can be really peaceful at night. Like when I hiked Mount Whitney under the moonlight, that was one of the most magical experiences of my life. It felt like I was the only person on earth, although I could see like headlamps of other people, so obviously it wasn't, but it was so quiet, so still. That wasn't scary. Michael says, I don't like scary movies unless it's a funny scary movie. Yeah, me too. Rod says, nope. Oh, speaking of funny scary movies, anyone seen the new Hocus Pocus yet? Anyone in chat have some Disney Plus? I definitely don't. I just have Netflix. Hey Tanya, welcome back. We're good. We're just chatting about scary movies and scary experiences we've had. Random Adventure said nay, so I feel like we're all on the same page of not liking scary movies. Catherine says, when she leaned towards me to touch my hand, I flew out of bed and ran to my parents. Oh my gosh, I would be so scared. Still, oh my goodness. Wendy said, I cannot do horror movies. Tensing makes my stomach hurt. Yeah, I get what you mean. It's not fun. But Catherine, that is the craziest experience, to have seen a ghost at your bedside. That's so scary. John Swan, hey Maddie. I have both Nemo tensor blow-up pad and a self-inflator pad. The Nemo is much more comfy. I've had lots of alien experiences, but I've always turned out to be my crazy imagination. Rainy Adventure says, I hope to hike the AT once I gain back my full mobility. That's awesome. Good for you. Tanya says, oh, funny story. I love scary movies. Oh, cool. Alrighty, what's your favorite scary movie? Rod says, nope, to scary movies. Not for you. I don't blame ya. Let's see. I don't like scary movies, but I did watch Stranger Things, all of the seasons, because it's like, it is very scary sometimes, but then it's like, oh yeah, nice fun characters, it's the 80s, and then it gets scary, but then it gets nice again. Wendy says, I have not seen Hocus Pocus. Plan on it. Oh, good. I didn't watch the original Hocus Pocus for a while, until, like, I don't know, I was a teenager maybe? I just never happened to catch it. So people seem like it's a really big deal to them, but I'm like, I didn't grow up with it. I watched Halloween Town when it came on Disney Channel, though. Tanya said, I have seen so many things that when I was younger, I figured they were ghosts and aliens. I don't know now. They all seem so real. Oh, That's so scary. So scary. This sun coming in my window doesn't really give me any good lighting. Oh, it's making me hot. Oh, here, I'll just sit like this. Okay. Tanya says, I love psychotic thrillers. Definitely not gore. Yeah, that's gross. Wendy says, my kids are your age and loved it. Oh, good. Well, glad to hear it. Internet person says, hey, Tanya, save some spooky experiences for the rest of us. Back to my story about my dream that was creepy, but the room I was staying in had a little door, and people kept saying, like, oh, that's so creepy. Personally, I was like, it's just a door that doesn't go anywhere. But then I had a dream about just feeling like a ghostly presence while I was in my bed. This is the dream. I was in my bed and feeling a ghostly presence, and I couldn't like scream or move or anything, and then I slowly started to fall out of my bed, and then I woke up and I was like, oh, it was a dream. But still, it was so crazy, because how often do you dream of yourself being in bed, you know? It was not fun. Matt says, another, same bedroom. I have dimmer light switches in all rooms. Well, one night they dimmed, then went bright. Did it a couple of times. I never asked if someone was here. It never happened again after. Oh, it did it a couple of times after I asked if someone was here. So you were like, is someone here? And then blink, blink, blink. Oh my gosh. That's so scary. Tanya says, you can have them. You can have her paranormal experiences. They were not fun. Yeah, that's creepy stuff. When I was maybe in 5th grade, like 4th and 5th grade, I was kind of interested in like paranormal stuff, and like I tried to be telekinetic at one point. I tried to hone in some psychic gifts like That's So Raven, but that was a phase I was going through in life, and I heard of a Ouija board. I didn't really know the connections with like spirits and demons and stuff. I thought it was like a fortune-telling thing. So you couldn't do it alone. You have to put your fingers on the, I think it's called a planchette. Let's see what Pop Pops has to say. Pause that story. When I was a child, about 1 million years ago, I was really sick. Sorry, my finger. With high fever and started hallucinating. I saw all kinds of monsters and dead people, and for years I was afraid of going to sleep. Oh my goodness, Pop Pops. That sounds like the worst experiences. And I know I don't think I've ever had a hallucination from being sick, but I hear they are so scary. Oh my gosh, not fun. But me and my friend were playing with my Ouija board, and like we asked, that's so Maddie. Yep, I wish. But we asked like if she would ever get married and if she would ever have kids, and it said yes to both questions. And then we asked how many kids she's having, and it said 3. So I'm still friends with that same friend, and so far she is married, but she doesn't have any kids and doesn't really want them. I mean, last time we talked anyway. So interesting. Maybe it was the future. Maybe it was a spirit just messing with us, like, oh, these kids. I never asked it any questions about the future because I was like, I don't want to know. Like, that'll spoil it for me. If you all had a choice between, if you all could ask a question about your future, what would it be? Or would you not ask anything? Because that's kind of a spoily. Spoiler alert on your own life. Catherine says, the first time Psycho was shown on TV, I watched it. But at the scariest part, the lights went out in the whole city. Oh my gosh. That's so creepy. I wonder if there was someone like at the electricity company or something being like, oh, all these people are watching Psycho on TV right now. Let's freak them out. And flipped a switch or something. Wendy says she wouldn't ask anything about her future. Matt says the first scary movie to scare me as a kid was The Exorcist. Oh my goodness. That sounds so scary. I would not like that. The only scary movie I can think of that I've seen is The Babysitter, which was just something on Netflix that I found, and it was gory. I wouldn't watch it again. I was kind of like, what's the point of this, you know? Oh, I've seen The Purge too, which I thought was interesting. Like, I don't know, it was kind of a social commentary on wealth and government, and that I was like, thought-provoking, but like the scariness of it, no thank you. Not a fun watch. And that person says, same, Matt. My dad let me watch The Exorcist when I was like 6. Father of the Year. Oh my goodness. Too scary. It's hard when you're young. Rod says, what age will I be when I die? That would be an interesting question to know, because then you could plan your life according to that. Michael said, I would not ask a question about my future. It would be scary. Yeah. Miscellaneous BS said, just coming in, and it sounds like I have missed some fun conversation. Yes. So for like 15 minutes, I was talking about Nevada, and then we got into like scary stories and UFO and ghost experiences. And we're talking about scary movies and whether or not if you could ask, if you could know a question about your future, what would it be? Or would you not want to ask because you don't want to know? You want to go into life without knowing stuff. I don't know how else to describe it. Matt says the scene when Linda Blair's head spun around, oh my gosh, reminded me of my ex. Oh, that sounds scary. Tanya says, let me read it in my scary story voice. As a teenager, I was hiking with my cousin in the woods behind our house. We stopped for a second and rested on a downed tree. We got up and started walking away. I looked back to where we just was, and there was a full-on Native American village where we were sitting. Teepees cooking over a fire, etc. Whoa. I turned to my cousin, and when I looked back, it was all gone. Whoa, dude, that's crazy. I wonder if that was like ghosts showing you like, this is what used to be here, you know? It wasn't just woods, it was people's homes. Man, that's crazy. It's sad to think about, like, so many people used to live somewhere and then it got destroyed. Random Adventure said good night, enjoyed and subbed. Oh yay! Thanks to YouTube recommended you live tonight. Oh, that's great. Well, I'm glad you joined us. Thank you for being here. Bonnie said maybe I missed it, but what are your plans when you finish the 50-state road trip? Oh, I actually know what I'm doing next, but I think I want to wait to reveal it in a fun way. I don't know what that way is going to be yet, but let me build some suspense first, and then I'll tell ya. Tanya said that is what I thought too. It is sad. Yeah. So Tanya, you said you've seen a lot of this stuff. Do you feel like you're a bit more, I don't know, in tuned to certain things than an average person? I guess what I'm asking is, why, if you have a guess, why do you think it is that you have this type of experience? I went to camp with someone when I was a teenager that said they saw a lot of, they felt like they got messages from people that had passed away and their spirits were still around. So that's why I ask. Maybe that was you, actually, because that was in Kentucky and I know you're from Indiana. So have you ever been to a Girl Scout day camp in Kentucky? Matt says she is probably sensitive to it like me. Oh, Matt, have you had... I forget if you've already told a story about your experiences, Matt, but have you had any... oh, right. Of course, I'm scrolling up now and I see stuff happens in your house. Oh, man. So, man... That's crazy. And has that, both Matt and Tanya, has that happened like since you were a kid, or was there like an event in your life where you started having this kind of stuff happen to you more often? Tanya says, when I was younger, I watched a lot of scary movies and had a wild imagination and always blamed it on that, but I was very open to it. Interesting. Very cool. Very, I don't know. It makes sense that you wouldn't, like, trust something right away when you think it could be your wild imagination. But very interesting. Internet person says, mediums in the chat. Yep. This is so fun. Having this kind of discussion. Like, who would have thought a bunch of people watching a YouTube live about a girl that lives in her van would have these experiences. So cool. Tanya says, not sure why I was so sensitive to it. Matt says, and I always try to debunk things that happen. Yeah, that makes sense. You gotta see, like, okay, what other factors here could be happening. Wendy says, my first and last scary movie was Friday the 13th. I watched it as a teenager while overnight babysitting with two friends. Oh no, you guys must have been so scared. Tanya says, I haven't had those kinds of experiences since I was a teen. Interesting. Matt says, I checked for loose light knobs, wires, bulbs, etc. Huh. Another camp scary story. This was in southern Kentucky, but, oh, yeah, I knew you meant bulbs. But, the counselors would tell us a story about someone named Billy that used to work there, and they would be like, yeah, sometimes when you're taking a shower, you'll feel it get cold, and then it'll go right back to how it used to be. And it could just be, you know, something's going wrong with the water, whatever, but they thought it was the ghost of Billy. Internet person says, I wonder if a minivan can be haunted like a house. I did have a friend in college who said her car was haunted, but it was just because the lights would come on while she was driving. So it sounds like a electrical issue to me. Pop Pop says, the woman of my dreams, not the dreams nightmare from when I was a child, arrived. I'm going to pamper her. Oh, great. Have a good rest of your night. Take care. I will stay safe, healthy, and happy. Oh my gosh, guys. Idea. What if I can make my van into a haunted house and then charge people to go through it? I'm just kidding, because it would be like, you walk in the sliding door And then you could walk to the trunk if you really wanted to, but it's not very far. Matt says, gotta go. It was great chatting with you all. Chat soon, I hope. Alrighty, bye, Matt. Thank you. Thanks for sharing your experiences. Tanya says, I'd totally come, lol, to see my 1 second haunted house. That's great. Tiny Fairy says, I have never seen anything, but sometimes my cat stared at something and freaked out. And there's nothing. I get freaked out. Oh, yeah. I feel the same way, too. Not that I have a cat, but when I'm around cats and they're just looking at something, I'm like, oh my gosh. Rain says, will you decorate your van for Halloween? No. I will probably just keep my pumpkin as my only decoration. I'm really excited though, because it's a real pumpkin this year, and that's better for the environment to last year I bought a little cheapo plastic pumpkin, and then I read somewhere that if you're gonna get a decoration, it's better to do something that's grown from the ground. Anyway, internet person says, bye Matt, watch out for those specters. Matt says, ha ha ha, you crazy comedians. No, okay. I believe you, Matt. Interesting stuff happens to people throughout life. Rain says, will you carve it? No, I think it's a little too small. And it would be too much trouble to try to carve anything into. Maybe I could do like a triangle or something. But a face would just fall apart, I think. The lines would have to be so small. What's everyone else doing to decorate their house from Halloween? Internet person says, 5-second haunted house. What an idea. The first of its kind. And the only of its kind, because it's not very practical. That would be funny. But what's everyone else like? What are your Halloween plans? Are you gonna decorate? Do you have somewhere to go on Halloween itself? That's what I'm trying to figure out now. So what am I gonna do on actual Halloween? I have a costume idea, but I don't have anywhere to dress up for. Oh, Wendy says you should carve a bigger pumpkin and roast seeds in a video. I love pumpkin seeds, but I don't have access to an oven. And it's not, I think an oven would probably be the hardest thing to find, because, you know, a lot of things like you can go to a library for internet, you can go to a hotel if you want to use some microwave or something, but an oven would be tough to find. I guess you could rent an Airbnb, but I don't know. I would love to do some more Halloween-oriented videos, though. That's fun. It's a fun idea. It's my favorite holiday. There's just so many things to do, and I love dressing up. I don't like being scared, though. Especially as a solo traveler and a hiker. Tiny Fairy says, Maddie, can you take us trick-or-treating? Oh, that would be so funny. Let's see. Where would I go? Wendy says, 2 tins over a fire or stovetop. Oh, seeds in one, cover with the other tin. Oh, that'd be cool. A nice fire roasted pumpkin seeds. Tiny says, oh, funny scary story. My cousin and I was home alone at my house watching scary movies. It stormed and our phones went out. We tried to call out and was just dialing numbers. Went back to the movie a while later. We had knocks at our door and the lights flashing in our windows. We were so scared to death. It was the police. We accidentally dialed 911. Oh my goodness. So, so what happened was you were watching a scary movie. You tried to dial some numbers. Nothing happened. You went back to watching the scary movie. Phones are still out. And then you saw people and lights, but it was just the police because you called 911. Oh my goodness. Shoot. I would have been freaked out too. And every person says, yo, a van life Halloween special where you carve a pumpkin or something would be dope. Okay. That would be cool. Especially if I could collaborate with another van lifer. That would be a cool... Dude, what if a bunch of people with vans found some BLM land somewhere, set up their vans and like trunk or treat type thing, but with vans? Oh my gosh, that'd be so fun. And I bet like that seems like a pretty basic idea. I bet that already exists somewhere. I just have to find it. Michael says, using decor from last year, maybe might buy more this year. Alright. Good to reuse. Tiny, oh, right, I already read that. Tiny said, we had steak knives and blankets in the bed. Yep. I feel like whenever I, was a kid and my parents started leaving me home alone, you know, like once you're like, yeah, you don't really need a babysitter anymore. Just like do your homework, whatever. When they're gone for a little bit, I would walk around the house with the phone. It wasn't a cell phone at the time, but like a cordless house phone and a knife. And now I look back to that and I'm like, not sure that would have been the most practical thing to use in that situation, but okay, me. Whatever makes you feel safe. Jose says, hello, Maddie. Just got into your live chat. Hi, glad you're here. Jose, I am in Nevada. Hi, plumber guy. How are you today? Welcome to everyone who's new, who's been here. John said, I'd be at the Halloween van life thing. Awesome. Well, I gotta find it. Billy Garrett. Hello. Welcome to the chat. How is everyone doing today? Okay, I need some more water, and this is a great time to show you a little camper tour. If you didn't see my last live with this on it, but you know, got a big bed up here, not a lot of headspace. I miss that about sleeping in my van, is that I have plenty of headspace. Then lots of storage over here, fridge going strong, and I have this water set up so that it falls into this basin. It's pretty much like having a sink. So give me 2 seconds to fill my water and I'll come right back. Rain, I didn't have bed bugs. That was me being paranoid of bed bugs. Lice and bed bugs scare me so much because they're just so easy to catch and you can't really prevent them. Scary stuff. Especially when I was backpacking Europe. I'm like, I'm gonna get bed bugs at some point. I have to. And I think I might have saw them in my hotel in Stockholm, or my hostel, but they didn't attach themselves and come with me and make an even bigger problem. Luckily. Alrighty. Internet person says, yeah, living in a van too. Oh, yay. I have the same thoughts about Halloween. I guess I'll probably try to find a bar or go to something because being alone on Halloween sounds sad. I agree. Definitely. I'm right there with ya. If I do find out about the kind of event that I described with the van life Halloween gathering, I will post it on my channel because that sounds really fun. Make a group announcement. Billy Garrett says, enjoying a beer and football with your live. Oh, yay! Rain. Well, before I go on to that, Billy, that sounds like such a fun day. Have fun with that. Rain says, which countries have you traveled to? The majority of Western Europe. Like, I started in Spain, up to France, down to Italy, and then I went as far as Poland and the Czech Republic, and then I started going back through like Germany and Belgium and Denmark. Did the 3 Scandinavian countries. Actually, I don't know if Iceland. It's always tricky knowing which is technically Scandinavia. But anyway, I went to Norway, Sweden, and Finland. Then I went to the British Isles and went to all of those countries besides Wales because that's when the pandemic started. I've also been to Singapore and Australia. And hopefully more coming soon. Sorry about that. Wendy says, I'm taking the train to Utah for Halloween. How fun! My 3-year-old granddaughter wants me to be Spider-Man like her. Yikes, that costume will be going... Yikes, that costume, LOL. Going to see if she will let me be a tarantula, her favorite spider. Oh, that's so cool that she's into spiders. And that would be such a fun costume. Like you could have pool noodles or something on not chicken wire, but fishing line where it's clear and, you know, you move your arm and then the pool noodle moves. Hopefully I'm making sense, but yes, a tarantula costume would be so fun. Michael says, stealth camping. What do you know about that? My first experience will be at an active crime scene from almost 19 years. Great savings and bank. I think you're going to need to clarify a few things there. You're asking me what I know about stealth camping, but you're going to an active crime scene from almost 19 years ago. Has it been active this whole 19 years? Why are you staying there if it's a crime scene? It's a very intriguing comment, Michael. Let me know more. Oh, yay! Mitchell, beer stipend! Thank you so much. It is much appreciated. Internet person about the Wendy's spider costume. Less of a Spider-Man and more of a man-spider. Yep, exactly. C. Smith says, are you staying in the Reno, Tahoe area in Nevada? Well, I don't really actually want to get that specific with where I am. I can tell you I am in Nevada, though. Really enjoyed it, but about to head out back on the road soon after a bit of a delay. This is the best place to sit because I have a table right here, but this sun, y'all, sun is killing me. Maybe I'll just sit like this for the rest of the live. How y'all doing? Rain says, wow, well traveled. Which was your favorite? It's the same thing as when people ask me what state is my favorite. I like them all for different things, and I'm sure, like, maybe something that could have been my favorite, I had bad weather, something happened and I wasn't really my best self that day. It's also circumstantial, your experiences in countries. I guess if I had to pick like a top 3 or something, really loved Czech Republic. I only went to Prague, but it was so beautiful. Beer is very cheap there, and just really liked that. I really liked Norway too, and let's see. I guess I really liked the landscape in Italy because it was a lot of rolling hills and like vineyards and like just what you'd picture. I got to do a lot of hiking at this place called Cinque Terre. If you've heard of that, it's 5 little villages that are close together and you can like walk between them. I really liked all of them though. They were all so good for different reasons. Ooh, in Scotland, in Ireland, I want to go back so bad. Especially Ireland. I wanted to see the Cliffs of Moher, but couldn't, so now I'm like, okay, have to go back. Hi, CC Camper Lady. Michael said, looking forward to your next adventure. Thank you. Oh, you're going on, Wendy's going on the California Zephyr. For those who haven't heard of that, it's this, I guess train journey, train destination, train trail, if you will, between California and I think it goes all the way to like Chicago or something, but it goes through some really cool stuff. So, congrats on that, Wendy. And Tanya says, a train line like that is definitely on my bucket list. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter and she loves Spider-Man too. Yay for all these granddaughters liking Spider-Man. That's fun. Tanya says, never been out of the States. I hope you get to someday. It really, it's really interesting. Michael said, you can find out more about the Greer Savings and Bank on Unsolved Mysteries. I spoke with Detective Dale Otterborn. You can find the address to the frontage road. All right, interesting. If you are looking for stealth camping tips, I think your vehicle is really the most important, you know, not driving something that someone would obviously be living in, not having bicycles or something attached to the outside, making sure your windows are blocked. I have window covers that I bought, but you can also make them out of Reflectix, and yeah, just not having any noise coming from your van. They say get there late and leave early. I say, when am I supposed to sleep if I do that? So that's a tip. It's not a tip that I follow, but those are my best tips for stealth camping. Hi, Ty. If I haven't said hi already, Ty X. Time Fairy says, Maddie, when you stop traveling, are you going to live in the city or a cabin in nature? I don't know if I'll ever stop traveling, really. The world is so big and there's so much I want to see. I would rather live in a cabin, for sure, but I really want to be a part of my family's life. So I think I would probably live in Louisville, where my family lives, Louisville, Kentucky. Tanya says, one day it'll happen, going international. Good. That's the spirit. Wendy says, Maddie, great idea on costume. You made sense. Oh, good. It was hard to describe what I was thinking. C. Smith says, there's some really cool natural water slides off of the I-80 and near Yuba City, California. Oh, yay! I love natural water slides. I'm going to write that down, actually. Yeah, if you guys have happened to see my video from Pennsylvania, I went on a natural water slide. And it got a little bit risky at one point when I went down something and I didn't really see how big of a drop there was or something. I don't really even remember what went wrong. It's been so long. Natural water slides, I-80, and Yuba City, was it? Yep. Well, thank you for that tip. I hope I get to go there. Michael says, I'm converting my 2014 Ford Edge. My only seat is the driver's seat. Interesting. Very cool. The back seat is now a full-size queen mattress. That sounds comfortable. Remove the passenger seat for extra storage. Nice. Sounds like you're going to have a good setup. Michael says, how long have you been in your van and how long do you have left in your journey? Well, I started in April of 2021 And let's see, now it's October now, so that's almost a year and a half. I don't know if I'm doing that math right. I'm just saying things. But anyway, how long do I have left? Well, I have only 2 states left, but I think I'll still live in my van and hang out, especially for the winter. It's always such a drab time of year. I am trying to go to the Southwest in the winter so I can have a little more sunshine in my life. And I just love the Southwest so much. It's one of my favorite areas of the world, the American Southwest. John Swan says, Cliffs of Moher are awesome. Been there twice and looking forward to getting back to Ireland. Oh, that's great. Ty X is now wearing a cowboy hat. Have you been to South Carolina? If so, where have you visited? Yes, that was in December of last year. I don't remember the name of any places. If you happen to find my playlist called Road Trip Brew SA, if you go down, it might have been like the 20th state I've been to, I'm guessing. And there's 2 videos. One, oh, I know. I went to see Angel Oak near Charleston, and then the Charleston Tea Farm. And why I went to those is because I'm a big tree fan, and seeing the live oaks, especially Angel Oak, oh my goodness, that was so cool. Loved that. And South Carolina, I also found a place to stealth camp that was a parking lot of a restaurant that was on the beach. And then in the morning, I couldn't sleep, so I woke up and watched the sunrise. And that was one of my favorite experiences, you know. I've watched the sunrise on Mount Whitney. I've watched the sunrise on Cadillac Mountain in Acadia. But that sunrise, I think, oh, and the Grand Canyon too, actually. But I was throwing up during that because I was dehydrated or got a bad bug or something. But anyway, of all those like big name sunrise places, just being at that beach, I think was my favorite sunrise of this trip because it was just me around and it was so peaceful. So nice. Jose says, the Southwest is where I wanted to go for the winter. I was planning on doing it this winter. I guess it's not going to happen. Oh, why is that? That's a bummer. Wendy says, my son is a zoologist / herpetologist. My granddaughter has a snake, lizards, and will be getting a tarantula for Christmas. It's the costume. How fun. Chai says, I just went to the Grand Canyon last week for the first time ever. Beautiful. Oh, that's so exciting. One of the coolest places, I think. That's wonderful that you got to go. Love the Grand Canyon. Alrighty, so let's do a few more minutes of chatting, but I'm gonna have to go soon. But in the meantime, do y'all have any questions for me? Anything you wanted to bring up? Anything you want to ask our little group chat we have going on here? I need to get some lunch here in a minute. It's almost 3:30 here in Pacific time, so get a little hungry. Ty says, I missed it, but why are you in the camper? Just because I've had this temporary job while I've been in Nevada, and my boss happens to have an extra camper and was like, you want to stay in it? And at that point when I moved in here, I didn't have electricity in my van. Plus, it's been nice having a place to stand up. And like where I'm sitting right now, I've been doing some YouTube work. Here, it's nice having a desk instead of sitting on my bed. And just like having room to move around has been really nice. I'm excited to get back to my van though, just because of more space above my bed and just because it's mine and it's my home and I love it. But yeah, happy to stay in the camper for now. Safe travels, my friend. Thank you, Michael. Internet person says, contemplating getting a Halloween costume for my 3-month-old puppy. I feel like she will definitely destroy it, but dog costumes are so cute. Yes, you're right. They are very cute. And any person that sees a dog in a costume is always like, oh, like, I think you should personally. Michael says, they carry a type of gun for protection. Very cool. Rain says, thank you for the live chat. Enjoyed it. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for being here. Michael says, glad you're well. Oh, thank you for the $3, Mike. Mike with 2 E's. I do appreciate it. Oh my gosh. Yesterday I got a splinter and I removed it, but still, like, I had to break skin to get the splinter out, and it still really hurts. Alrighty, Michael says, glad you're well, have a good day, and best of luck with the adventure. Thank you. CEO of Meme says, that's not a van, right? Nope, this is actually a truck camper. So it's meant to, if you picture a pickup truck and have like a little house sat in the back of it, that's what this is, except it's currently on a trailer and not in a truck, so I don't know if the, what's it called? I don't know if the video is going to pick it up, but let me do this again. And like the whole thing shakes. Sometimes I'm just like laying in bed and I like stretch out my leg and the whole thing shakes. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So rocky. But oh well. Ah, pumpkin fun. Thank you, Wendy. How nice of you. I'll have to do a video carving a pumpkin now. Michael says, do you have any recommendations for mobile hotspots? Not really. Let's see. I don't even remember what the one I have is called. I used to have Sprint Drive. Oh, I have something called Harman Spark that plugs in below my steering wheel, and it's supposed to give you Wi-Fi more than Sprint Drive, so I would recommend Harman Spark if you're looking into things. Excuse me, but yeah, it doesn't always work. There is a signal booster I have though called High Boost, and I do like that because it just gives me the option. Sometimes, like, if there's absolutely zero service, it can't magically provide you with service, but if there is service, it kind of multiplies it. And sometimes if I unplug it, actually I get better service without it. And so sometimes I think like, well, why do I even have it? But having the option to unplug it is what's important, because sometimes it does actually give me better service. Hope that answers your question. I don't really don't know exactly what qualifies as a mobile hotspot, but that's what I use for Wi-Fi and service. I had to move away from my seat because I am just too toasty. In a minute, I'm going to put the air conditioning on, but I have it off because I didn't want the extra noise in the background. It is a bit loud. I tried to sleep with the air on one night, and it was just too loud. Michael says, I'm in the mountains of Asheville, North Carolina, but work in Greer, South Carolina. That sounds cool. I went to Asheville when I was in North Carolina. I don't remember how the service was there or anything, but I know I enjoyed the town. Nice place. It was very cold because I went in the winter, but it looked like it had plenty of craft beer and plenty of hiking nearby. CC Camper Lady says, oh, you're from South Carolina too, near Greenville. Well, very cool. Alrighty, folks, why don't we do 5 more minutes of the chat? That way we'll end on 90 minutes. I always like to end on like a round number, because I don't know. You know, when you're on the phone with a friend, or even someone you have a crush on and you don't want to hang up, you just want to keep talking? That's how I feel about lives too. I just want to keep talking to you all, but at the same time, like, I do have other things I need to get done in this day. So that's why I like to end on round numbers. It's like my motivation to be like, okay, this is the end. Michael says, it's always cold, and yes, I'm very close to Greenville. Oh, cool. Lone Wolf Nomad said, hello from Cocoa, Florida. Made it through Hurricane Ivan. Oh, good. I'm very glad to hear that. That was the first thing I thought of, actually, when you said that. Great channel. Tanya said, I am weird about numbers. Volume on TV, radio or TV must be even numbers. Nice. Lone Wolf says, cheers to you. Well, thank you. And Rain says, good afternoon. Bye for now. Bye. I'll see you. Thank you all for being here. And thank you, Camper Lady. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for chatting. Those of you that gave some donations, I really appreciate that. Of course, I never want to come off as expecting donations, but they are always very much well appreciated. Thank you very much. Wendy said, we love spending time with you as well. Oh, thank you. Have a good afternoon to you too, CEO of Memes. And that person says 12 hours is a round number. That sounds like a reasonable length for a live stream. That's so funny, because recently I've been thinking, like, what if I tried to do a really long live stream? Like, what if I tried to stream my whole day one time? Oh my goodness. That'd be so weird. I'd be like, alright guys, I'm gonna brush my teeth now. I can't talk to you all for the next 2 minutes, but you can brush your teeth with me if you haven't already. Dude, that would be so funny. I don't know. Would you all enjoy that? Tanya said, headed to Red River Gorge next weekend for the first time. Maddie's so excited. Oh, that's great. That is a wonderful place. I bet because it's October, it's probably going to be pretty crowded, but I think you'll love it. I would get there early if I were you, because it's hard to find parking on the weekends in the fall. Michael says, my fave beer chick, thanks for the helpful advice. Oh, well, glad I could help ya. You take care too, Jose. Robert, time goes fast when something is so funny and interesting like you. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Wendy, it's in Kentucky, eastern Kentucky, actually, about, I don't know, I think less than 2 hours from where I went to college. So I love that. That part of Kentucky and Red River Gorge itself. I love it. MC says, got my Lost Coast permit this morning. Oh, congratulations. I think, is that in California? And I think Adventure Archives just did a video on there. You get to walk by the ocean. If so, that looks really cool. And if not, I'm sure a permit for anything is going to be a really cool place. Congrats on that. Steve says, yes, do a day chat, please. Okay. Internet person's on board too. Okay, maybe. We'll see what I'm up to next weekend. I'm going to be in a whole nother state. Steve A says, you make my day better. Heart, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Tanya says, we are getting there first thing Friday morning. Oh, good. Oh, thank you, John. Thank you for the $10. That is very well appreciated. Tanya, praying there is still parking. Yep, it is tough, but I think you'll be fine if you get there in the morning. I usually seem like I always get there late in the day, you know. You just, it takes me a while to drive there, and there's always the time before I head out is always like, oh, I need to get this. So hopefully you'll procrastinate less than me and be just fine. Michael says, come back to South Carolina and let's cheers. Well, I hope to do a second lap of the U.S. someday. I think I would appreciate it more if it wasn't back to back, but someday. Yeah, Wendy, you should go to Red River Gorge. It is a beautiful place. Alrighty, guys. Thanks again for watching. You all have a wonderful rest of your days. I really appreciate you all. I hope everyone is in good health. Everyone is in good mental health. We're all doing well, living life, getting out there. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate you all. Bye.